that, bless their heart. That's all I can say.
Uh-oh. Bad day on the agency.
Well, they're just having some issues, and I was trying to help them, and it just kind of ran over. So
Okay.
I appreciate your patience.
No biggie. I was multitasking, getting some stuff done, so.
All right. So you have any, you usually have a whole bunch of questions for me, so.
I do. Yay.
Yay!
Yay. Okay. I'm going through workflows, so.
Ma'am?
This client, you can see everything?
Yes, ma'am, I can.
Most of my commercial companies, Travelers, Hartford, do not download audit information at all. So I get a copy of the audit in the mail, and I'd like to process it so that my information matches, so I don't have to go digging for it. So how do I?
Okay, let's find, this is a company that would have an audit.
Yeah, this
on the
is,
work comp.
yes, and I have it in front of me, and it says work comp policy from last term, so.
Okay, so first of all, click on the policy.
The policy.
The policy number.
Oh, okay. But it's not on this term.
Okay, just hold tight with me.
Okay, okay.
All right, go to the invoice. Typically, Hartford and policies like that don't change the policy number on commercial policies. It stays the same. And so we see that we have sequence 98.
Okay.
So if you right-click on 98, you're going to see that we have 11 to 12 and 12 to 13. What you need to do is to wedge that audit between those two sequences.
Okay.
So you go back to the sequence that you want to wedge between, so you go back to the 11, 12. So you double-click on that one.
On this one?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And you're now in sequence 99. So you want to go up to the word policy, upper, yep, and you want to insert a transaction. So you're going to wedge a sequence between the two. And
Okay.
it's the AUD for audit. You say, okay.
Okay. Gotcha.
All right, now right-click on 98. Aha!
Gotcha. New. Okay.
Wedges or inserts it in chronological order. And this happens with prior period endorsements or prior period cancellation reinstate or whatever you need to insert between and get it in chronological order.
Okay.
These sequences are only setting up things that are within the policy period and to create opportunities to for invoicing either agency or direct bill.
Okay. And how do how would I have updated like the payroll information or on the old policy?
Okay. If you're going to update that, then you would either create a form or scan the audit in.
Okay.
That's your two options.
Okay. So I would, well, I would prefer just to create, I guess, create the form. So
Okay. So if I was going to create a form, all right, let's go through the whole sheet now.
Yeah.
So let's go to exit here. Let's just exit here. We know how to insert for billing purposes.
Uh-huh.
All right, so let's see if I can do it from here. Let's right-click down here in the download risk.
Right here or down here?
Anywhere.
Okay.
And it won't let us do it here, so let's X out of here.
Okay.
Let's go to the DL risk. And we're going to pull up the workers' comp. We're going to expand it, and we're going to find this is the renewal. So I'm going to right-click on the renewal, and I'm going to create the app.
Okay.
So you may want to do that. And so it didn't do it because the NAIC code, Jim didn't set that up. So I'm going to download. I'm going to options. I'm going to the AL risk and the NAIC, and this is, the code is 25682. Is that what that is?
I don't know where you're looking at.
Right here.
Oh, yeah, 25682. Okay.
Okay. And this is what company?
It is Travelers.
So we put in Travelers, and it's Travelers.
Not that Travelers.
Ma'am?
That's the wrong Travelers. That's not the right code. I had that company issue. PR, good grief. TRV is what I've got for Travelers. That one. We're working on my companies. They didn't convert right, so.
Oh, really? They didn't convert per the list?
No, they didn't. They pulled all the sub-company codes instead.
It pulls them all, sub and parent.
Well, all of the sub-companies, the very top sub-company is what replaced the company name when it pulled the companies over.
Well, the company name doesn't matter. We can amend that post-live.
Well, I've told him that all of them haven't converted right, and he's supposed to
Okay, gotcha.
upon the conversion, so I don't have to do that.
Okay, so this would be your renewal, okay? So we created that based on our conversion, right?
Yes.
So you would save that, and you could just add a form. And this would be the workers' comp, so that's the 130. And you know what I did? I did it wrong.
Oh.
I did it on the renewal. That's not what you wanted. You wanted it on the old term, right?
Yeah.
All right.
I thought we were on the old term, but that would be 11/17. Oh, 11/17, 11 to 12.
Right.
These names, these dates.
So we wanted to create an app on the old term so you could have, the original app and then the audit app. Is that what you?
Yes.
Okay, so this is a different NAIC. Lovely. We changed the writing company. So we add 25666, and this is TRV.
Yep.
Right. Wrong policy.
To be.
Workers' comp. Okay, so we would save that, and then we would add a form. Which is just going to copy it over with all the information.
Okay. So I just update there.
You would update this, and then you would give this a description of audit. Or whatever you want to put.
Gotcha.
You could even put the amount of the audit, either RP or AP.
Yeah, I always do that. I say AP, whatever it is, or yeah, you're right, I do that.
Okay, so then when you save it and you look at your forms, this is what you'd end up with, Kelly.
Okay, so we got the download, essentially, from the converted app and then the audit.
Right.
Okay. That will work.
Will that work for you?
Yeah. What's that prior form, green thing? Is that the... Okay.
And then here's expired policies.
Gotcha.
And if there were forms associated with those.
And that's under the forms. I gotcha. Okay.
Okay? So after you create the application or form, it's going to be on the Forms tab, and that's where these descriptions get very, very important. You don't have to drill down to the actual form to change the description. You can right-click and access the description.
Okay. $65. That's okay. It's going to be wiped out anyway, so okay.
Okay, so you see where you can, you know, change it on the fly, so to speak.
Okay. So
Right.
the renewal comes in and I wanted to see, I could just pull it up. Okay, based on forms, not anywhere else.
Well, if you're going to attach things, you know, you can have it attached.
Okay. Okay. That was helpful on that.
And if you attach it and you put audit in your description, all you would have to do is to type in audit, and it would find everything to do with an audit.
Okay. The description. Gotcha.
Okay?
Okay.
All righty? That was probably more information than you wanted.
Nah, I needed to know how to do it because I've got two of them on my desk, and I'm trying to do workflows in both systems so I could see if it makes sense.
Okay, good. All right, what else?
Let's see. I have a client that is, he's got personal lines and commercial lines. S-C-H-U-B-H-H. There he is. So we have this personal lines, but he just had me write his electrical business, a commercial line. Do you guys?
Is it like a DBA or something?
Yeah, it's a contractor's BOP is what it is.
Okay, I would set it up as a separate client. Now, some people mix and match their stuff, but see, you have to denote whether the client is either personal or commercial.
Okay.
And so we always separated our commercial from our personal accounts because we had different people handling it.
Well, yeah. Well, I didn't know if you did on this one or not, because we do on the other one. So
I would set up a new account.
Okay.
And I would denote that one as commercial.
Is there a cross-reference tab on agency systems?
The cross-reference is the contact code. So if you put Edwin in both fields and you search for Edwin or his last name, it would pull up both of them. That's what we did. So we had somebody that was a property manager, and he had Grace Properties, and he had a whole bunch of LLCs, but they were all named different things.
Uh-huh.
So we put his name in in the contact. So I could put his name, and it would bring up all his personal lines and all those different LLCs because he was a contact him.
Okay. Now, when I set up a new client for Edwin as a commercial account, would I be able to pull his contact info over, or I have to set all of it up?
You have to set it all up.
Okay. I didn't know if this was intertwined or not. So.
No, not currently.
Not currently. Well, make an enhancement. That sounds like a good thing to.
Well, you know, new agents come up with our best suggestions.
So to have one contact module is what I would call it, so that because on what I've got now, I can search for an existing contact and attach it to that client.
Yeah, I think that'd be really cool.
So yeah, it is. Where is my search? I've got something up. Oh, I was gonna, because I bet you there is a gazillion of these. Yeah. This is that one agent that I've got half of his clients, and he is set up as a contact for all of his clients. It didn't pull it over, though, did it?
Now, what are you saying? You've got a producer?
Yeah, and it was my way of, this is the producer that we share an office with, Chris Halpin, and I added him as a contact to all of the clients, and I'll kind of show you here why. MUEH. On our system, I wanted this to scream that this is not our client, and we divert him over to his phone system. So everywhere that I could, I would put his name so that anybody that would take this call could see. So that's why he was added as a contact.
Okay. So if I were you, I would put him as the primary.
Okay.
And I would say producer agent.
Okay.
Title. And when you click on save and exit, it's going to put him at the top of the list.
Okay. Gotcha. That makes sense. Okay. I'm going to have to do that individually.
And when you search, put in Chris Halpin.
Okay.
So when you click on Virgil and so forth, you would know that, you know, if he's a producer, CEH, you're going to see his producer code also. Now this one says BLT.
Yeah, that's not. Well, because it must have just picking up the Chris, because there's a.
It is. It's picking up the Chris. So, but right here you can see the producer code. So.
Okay. I didn't know that. Learned something new today.
So when you go through here, you can see a lot of information.
Okay.
So it's really, I mean, if you wanted to put something unique rather than Chris Halpin, you could put CEH.
Oh, as a contact instead of?
Yeah. Well, let's try that and see how it works. I'm just curious now. We're brainstorming, you and I, okay?
Aha.
So it needs to be something unique if you want just a list of his clients.
Gotcha. Okay.
So whatever you want it to be.
And I will work on that, and I'll sleep on that one and see what I want to do on that.
Exactly. You know, but it needs to be something fairly unique. If you just put in Chris, you're going to get all, you know, all the Chris's.
Every Chris, you got it.
And since you don't handle these, you want this to be #1 contact, right?
Right.
So if you mark it primary, it will always be at the top of the list.
Okay. So the top of the list is primary.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay.
We're just doing all kind of good stuff today.
I know, right? There was one thing I did. I was trying to do I think I'm just going to wait till I have a real database flow, and I was trying to do one of those commission builders based on one of my commission checks, and I got hung up something drastic.
Okay, well, let's look and see what you did, just for curiosity's sake.
Okay, because there is one in there that's pending, and I couldn't go any further.
Okay, so did you finish it?
It wouldn't allow me to. There was an error.
Okay, let's. Here's an error. So we see the errors, and this just says the policy already exists. So we can just edit the sequence and see it's you were creating something here. I don't know exactly what you were doing.
I was just trying to apply the commission to that account.
Okay, so
month.
okay. and close this. There was just this one line, right?
There was only one line on it.
Edit this, GAHUM. Okay, so I don't know what this error means. All right. And it won't let me.
Yeah, I tried doing everything I could think of, and it just wouldn't do anything.
All right, let's look at this other one.
The other one is one that we tried to do way back when. I didn't do that one.
Okay, so this is the bank. We'll say it's 101, Departments GA. Whoops, what did I do?
Oh, it went. I think you're, oh, we got a couple different ones open down there.
Okay, so GA for the department, and say OK. So now it's ready to go. So when it's ready, you just X out, and X out here, and then it says it's suspended. So we want to release this item, and we just process it.
Okay.
So now that's matched the commission to that invoice.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do with that.
I don't know what happened to the other one. I don't know.
Okay. So I was stuck for a good reason. I couldn't finish anything, obviously, because you saw.
There's something funky about that policy or something. I don't know. Okay, so now that one's complete.
Okay.
But Ken does the post-life training on all the download stuff.
Okay.
Policy download and the commission builder. He does all that post-life training.
Perfect.
So I'll be glad to help you too.
Then those are my questions for the day.
Okay. All right. So what did we have on the agenda? I've forgotten now.
Reports, bank rec,
and well, we've done a review. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the bank rec. The bank rec is not what accounting people think of a bank rec. You know, real accounting people say, oh, well, we can't close the month until we do our bank reconcile and make sure our cash is correct, right?
Okay, sure.
They close their month until that bank statement's reconciled. It doesn't matter here because
it doesn't matter where I'm at either, so I can close the book without that.
The bank reconcile does not tie into the GL.
Okay.
So if somebody ever brings that up, you say, well, it doesn't matter. It's just like a paper transaction. It doesn't tie into the general ledger.
Okay, and that's what I'm accustomed to then.
Yep, our system is real time, so when you put the cash in the bank, it's real. If you make a boo-boo, then you need to correct it then, because doing the bank rec doesn't change a thing. It's just checking off what has been put in the bank as a deposit and checking off that the check is cleared. That's all it is.
Okay, they just say true.
So when you do your real bank reconcile, you'll just do your bank statement, right?
Statement balance, okay.
You'd put your balance in and then go back to whenever you know, we used to go back just to January to make sure that everything is cleared, right? Okay. All the checks and all that stuff. So you just put your bank balance in, and it's going to pull in everything what you and I have done during training.
Okay.
You can see that all of these are just cash. We haven't really created any checks. But down here it says just check transactions. Well, we did do a couple of checks.
Yeah, we paid me.
Or only,
hold on. Go ahead.
are only cash transactions. Okay?
Okay.
What our system doesn't do that disturbs some people is it doesn't group items for a deposit, since we don't have a deposit slip.
Ooh.
We don't have a deposit slip, we have a cash report, so therefore it doesn't, we don't know what you group together and actually take to the bank that would match a bank statement. So you will create your deposit slips with the routing number and everything manually, and then you would group these together by just clicking on group, 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 and then right-click and group the selected, and that would be your deposit.
You can't do that prior?
No.
Oh. Oh, okay. So that'll be a chore and a challenge. I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Well, you're not the only one that has said that.
No, there ought to be a way that you could do that. So I guess that, okay. That makes reconciling pretty bad.
Well, you just take your statement.
Yeah.
I mean, you take your deposit slips that you've taken to the bank.
Yeah.
And since this section here can be just cash, so it's going to include all the EFTs and the things that you've carried to the bank, and it's sortable by description. Let's do all of them again so you can see it. So you can sort it by description or sub-GL or amount, and so you can quickly just go through here and group things and right-click and group, and of course you can print things and, you know.
Okay.
So you need to make a couple of more cash transactions in the system so you can see how that group thing works. But I'll be glad to help you with your first bank rec if you want me to.
Okay. Okay. I've been
And,
trying but that's a little irritating, so to say the least. I would think that you'd be able to, I mean, if you're going to print checks, you should be able to print a report for a cash report and group it then.
Well, yeah, we do have a cash report. We don't have a deposit slip. So, you know, you start in the morning and you put in money, whether it's commission or client money or whatever, and you take the deposit because it's Monday and you take the deposit at lunch. Well, you come back and people pay you money and all that stuff, and it's 5 o'clock. Well, our system is reporting all of that in one day. So it's just a cash report, a deposit report. Now, what some people do is they make the deposit and note when was the last cash receipt. And then the next report would be, you know, starting with cash and ending with cash number.
Okay.
If they, you know, want to run a report to match up with their deposit slip they've taken to the bank.
Okay.
But this is just noting everything that is put in the system on a given day.
Okay. I'll have to get, that'll have to be adjusted in my head, but I guess
Yeah, it is. That's why I try to talk about it.
Yeah.
Because if I don't, then you know, you'll feel like you've been blindsided, and you say, well, why didn't Elaine mention that to me? Because that seems to be fairly important.
Okay. Group.
But look at it this way. You can look at your cash report as you make your deposit, and they need to match.
Right.
And if they don't match, then you need to correct it. So by the time you're doing your bank reconcile, it's just ticking off actually the things, the checks that have not have cleared. Your cash should always be correct.
Okay.
Because you're gonna look at it, you know, and match it up with your deposit each day.
Okay. Well, I will get adjusted to that, and then I'll scream later. So
that's right. That's right. There's so many things we love. There's got to be something we don't love.
Oh, most certainly. Most certainly. So.
Okay, so here is the open and close month.
Okay.
So you get to the end of the month. You just put in 131. Well, it's not 12, it's 13, isn't it?
Oh my gosh, I know I'm not used to it yet.
01/31/2013. So you just put in the end of the last day of the month, and you click on close, and you're closed.
Oh.
What that does is it just puts that firewall in there so that people are not back posting invoices and trying to back post payments and that stuff into the prior month. Once it's closed, right?
Yep.
But let's say that you know, it comes along April and the CPA finally gets around to sending you the end of the year balances so that they can post your, you know, do your taxes. So you just come in here and you put in 12/31/2012, and you open the month, click on open, and then you would come down here and open this last day, and you post your journal entries, and then you just come back into open close month and close your month.
Okay.
I mean, it's just that easy.
Cool.
Open and close month. Now, when I was an agent, I was very cautious at first. And anytime we opened the prior month, I would call Cheryl just for her to, you know, bless it, so to speak.
Sure.
Because sometimes I wanted to go in and correct an invoice because somebody made such a boo-boo. And knowing that it would affect income or whatever it was, but I just didn't want to reverse it and, you know, back it out and put it in and all that stuff. So after a while, I felt comfortable enough that I would open it on my own, knowing what was going to happen and what reports I would have to run if I did a journal entry or I corrected an invoice with commission and, you know, all of that stuff I knew that it would affect. And I felt okay. But I'm telling you, that first couple of times I did it, I always call Cheryl or support. So Cheryl or Phil would help me.
Yeah, I've never reopened it. If there was a commission boo-boo or an invoice boo-boo, I would just back out the invoice and put in a new one just so I had a running total of it. So.
Well, it's really up to you, but the options are there.
Okay. Okay, perfect.
Just FYI.
Okay.
You're like me, you're very cautious.
Yeah, I am.
Okay, so here are some reports, and one of them is on the AP and this invoice query. This was one of my most favorite things, and the guy that was actually our accounting person was over all the accounting. He was actually a CPA. He was the real deal at our agency. So he loved this report because he could run an invoice query and look at all of this. Pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah. And that's all under one tab. So what do I need to pay producers?
It's not how you pay your producers. It's what you owe your producers.
Okay.
So it's not like a producer statement. This is really cool because it says include invoices that the client has fully paid. Include invoices when the client has partially paid or not paid at all.
Okay.
Right? So it gives you those parameters. Especially cool is the invoice query that says, what do I need to pay my companies, and the client hasn't paid me. So that tells me, oh, I'm advancing money because I have to pay the company, but my client hasn't paid me.
Okay.
So just toy around with that and see if that's going to work for you. There's also an invoice register, which would give you the invoices, and you can do it by invoice or client or any of these parameters, you know, sort it out but it defaults to invoice number.
Okay.
You can do it for the first to the end of the month. You can do a summary or a detail. You can do it by the GL month, which is why you close your month, so you can get invoices within a certain range, right?
If I wanted to post, or I needed to print my March invoices for, I could just do that.
Well, no, this is a report.
Okay.
It shows you the premium and the commission and all kind of stuff in a report form.
Okay.
So it can include just agency bill or direct bill or both, and just all sorts of stuff. And I like this report because it tied the invoices to a GL month, and we don't have enough in the system for it to do, but it's the only report in our system, that ties it to the accounting month. The production reports are like books of business, so it doesn't tie to a bookkeeping month, an accounting month. The invoice register is the only one that ties to the GL month.
Okay.
And because you can export it to a spreadsheet, you can slice and dice it.
Okay.
And you can do summary, or you can do the full detail or detail. You can break it down by department. You can do agency or direct bill. You can do client or company. So you can slice and dice it in a number of ways.
Okay.
So after you start invoicing agency and direct, this invoice register will be a very, very interesting report that you will probably look to maybe at the first or the end of the month.
Well, I wonder if it will, at the end of the year, I'm going to ask about this report. I have, since we are right on the Kansas-Missouri border, we have to file taxes in both states. And so I have to split out. I do an invoice report now, and I can find out how much of it's Kansas, how much invoice and commission was Kansas, and how much was Missouri.
By county.
By state.
Yeah.
What I have to do basically is I pull an invoice register, and I have to, it's able to pull a list essentially, and then I sort it by state.
Parameters that we have. Client, company, producer, policy. We don't have a way to break it out by state. I'll have to ask my support team.
Okay.
So by state, invoice.
State, yes.
By state. Or production by state.
Yes, that would work too.
But see, production doesn't tie, production is just, like I said, a book of business report, so it doesn't tie to the GL months or even a GL year.
Okay.
Just a book of business report.
The invoice.
So if I pull a book of business report, it might start October of 12 and run out October of 13. So it would say, this policy is worth this much money. It doesn't look at the GL month. What you're looking for is actual premium and commission within a certain GL or accounting months, January to December or something.
That's
so
what I pull an invoice register from January to December. Yeah, and
I'll have to ask them.
The way it sorts, so when it pulls that list, it's got the client and their address, and that's how I can sort based on that.
Now, I wonder if we've got enough in here that it would bring anything up. No, we don't have enough. We don't have enough in there to even, we don't even have an invoice in there.
We do have an invoice in there, though.
All right, so
where is it at?
Might be the wrong date parameters. That might be it. So go to invoice register and back it up, and then pull it down to the something like that. And
agency. Okay.
All right. Just click on preview and see what it does.
Oops. It doesn't give me an address at all, does it?
Not in this view, and we did it by, I can't remember what the parameter was. I don't know if it was the...
I think we did just summary. I don't think we did detail.
Okay.
Summary.
Detail. Let's just do the first detail.
Okay.
And it's client number, so let's choose by, well, client number's fine. Let's just try that.
Which, oh.
On preview.
Preview. No.
Let's go back and do full detail.
I'm getting the hang of this. Woohoo! Nah. Commercial lines, bill, effective. No.
All right, we did it by number. Let's go back and change the parameter of the report by. So AR, invoice register. At the top, we've got client number. So let's choose something else. We've got client class. Just try client.
That? Or?
Let's try client alpha and see if it gives us anything else. And just click on preview. Since we don't have much, it doesn't take much to bring it up.
That's true.
Nope. No address.
I might have to get creative with some invoice register.
Like I said, this is the only report that ties in with the general ledger.
That would be the closest one that I'm going to have to, given the accountant. All
right, so let's pull it up by client alpha and export it and see. Sometimes the export brings over something different. So just save it to your desktop, and we'll just call it, yeah.
There it is. Okay.
Saved it to your desktop, so we'll have to go back to your desktop and look at it. Oh, invoice register. Where?
I found it.
Okay, just pull that up. No. Doesn't have any addresses.
Nope.
Okay, I'll just have to ask our support team because that's super important, and now is the time to address these things.
Yes, most certainly. Okay.
But you got some good experience today.
I did. Most certainly.
Okay, so let's look at it one other way. It doesn't tie into the GL, but let's go up to the AR and the policy list report.
Okay.
All right, this is an interesting report, and it will bring in premiums, but it's not tied to the GL. So I don't know if this is going to work, but we could do it by client, and we'll just do it by entry date.
Okay.
And we'll go back to, well, we'll just go back to December. I don't know what's in here. And we'll choose policy, and we'll show the premium.
Okay. This is pulling the premiums based on what was downloaded.
Well, this is going to pull in the anything that we've invoiced with a policy within those parameters. But again, it's not tied to the general ledger. It's just reporting. You know, it's just pulling out information. That's all it's pulling out. So it's not tied to any invoice per se, and it's not logical enough to know when you entered the invoice or, you know, any kind of thing like that.
Okay.
It just knows that there's an invoice in there. Then there's the production report, but there again, it's not tying back to the accounting months. Now, any of these reports you can take out to a spreadsheet.
Okay.
But there's no addresses in here.
No, there's not. Okay.
Okay. I'll just have to ask our support team.
Okay. That just dawned on me when we were doing that, so.
Yeah, the only other report is the this policy report, and you can define this in any fashion. I mean, it's got new business and active policies and that sort of thing, and you can customize these.
Ooh, there's a state.
Yeah. So this might be what you have to do.
That might be. Okay, policy report.
By client and state, and it would give you those policies within whatever range. You know, you have to choose a range.
Okay.
And it's based on effective dates and expiration dates. So it's not based on accounting months per se.
Okay. Gotcha. Date ranges. Wow. Lots of stuff here.
Yeah, and you can, if you ever get the template the way you want it, you can save it and then just use it month by month. But what I suggest, if you have very, very customized needs like states and stuff like that, to get with Seal. He is the absolute expert in these reports, and so I would get with him, and I'll just tell him that you're going to need some very, very specific help with customized reports.
Okay. You said it was Phil?
Phil.
Okay.
But I'll set that up for you.
Okay.
I'll set that up post-live for you.
RTS. Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
All right, there's some reports, you know, like balance sheet and all of that stuff. You can run them with whatever dates that you choose to, whenever you choose to. You know, so if you wanted one from last year, and as you go forward, you will have comparisons. At first, you won't have any comparison.
Right.
You don't have anything in the system. And so in February or March, you will begin to see, you know, previous months.
Okay.
But until you start building that history, you're not going to have anything in the previous month.
Gotcha. Or the previous year.
Or the previous year.
Yeah. Well, I got those reports saved on my desktop, so at month end I can print those off.
Right, and so the same thing with the income and expense. The same rule applies because it's looking for the previous year or so forth. And you can see that.
Okay.
And you'll begin to have that sort of information as you begin to use the system.
And can that income and expense be exported to Excel?
Anything here can be exported. Right here is the little export button.
Okay.
And you just choose what, Excel, and where you're going to save it.
Okay.
So any of our reports can be sent to an Excel spreadsheet, so you can slice and dice it. Okay?
Gotcha.
There are some automated reports that sometimes people choose to run when they close their month.
Balance sheet, income, yeah. Client aging, most certainly account current.
I figured, I wasn't a big fan of just running paper to run paper.
No.
And so I never use this, but some people love it because they love the paper, and it would just run. You just set it up, and it prints, and you come in, and you got this pile of paper to go through.
Right.
But I was always, I would pick and choose what I wanted to print, and sometimes I printed them just because the CPA wanted wanted those kinds of records in his office. But I knew that I could pull them up on my screen at any given time.
Yeah. Now, would you print, like with the balance sheet and income and expense right now, I have to print those before I close the month?
Nope.
No. Okay.
Like I said, I could call it up at any time.
Okay.
So you don't have to print anything, or you can just wait.
Okay.
All right, let's talk a little bit about, do you pay producers at all?
Yes.
Okay. Producer payables are created in two different methods. For direct bill, it is created when you post the commission check to the invoices, either with Commission Builder or Commission Download. Number two, for agency bill, it creates a producer payable when the client payment is posted to the invoice. Otherwise, you're advancing money to the producer.
True.
So in your agency, if you advance money to the producer, I would suggest that you get with Cheryl to create those workflows for that scenario. And I've talked to Cheryl about your situation moving forward, and she knows all about it, and she's gonna help you work through those issues.
Okay.
She's done it 100 times, so
Yay.
she understands and she knows how to work through those balances.
Okay. I'm excited about that. So yes, I'm not going to pay producers. I've already informed the producer that we pay in advance, and I've already said it's going to change, so get used to it.
Yep. Now we're going to pay in arrears. As you get paid your commission, he will get whatever you get.
Yep.
Whatever you get.
Yes. Makes life easier on me. So okay.
Eventually, now, initially you're going to have to straddle that fence until that balance is paid off, and
Yep.
kind of check on yourself as to where you are in the world. And some of that will be referring to those reports from your prior system that have that information in there that made up that beginning balance.
Correct. Correct.
So, as you pay down those balances, there might be a spreadsheet or something that you keep up with and say, paid down this balance and so forth.
Yep, that's what I'm going to have to figure out. So, and you said Cheryl's been down that road, so.
Yep, and she'll have, she's like me, she's got lots of opinions.
Yay.
I mean, she will brainstorm with you to see what's going to work out for you.
Okay. Well, we all talk the same language and all that stuff, too. So.
Absolutely.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. One last little report area, and believe it or not, it's in marketing, and it's Query Wizards, and you can see that you can run reports on stuff like this.
Okay.
Like clients with homeowners not auto, or auto and not home, and that sort of thing.
Okay.
So you can pull out for marketing. So that's what this basically is. We'll just do something quick, okay? We'll say we want to run a birthday list. How's that?
Oh.
On all the birthdays that are in January.
Okay.
Okay? Something simple. And we'll just say all the companies and all types, all producers, just everybody. We're just going to group them up because this is just, and this is simply just include everybody, okay? We might not want a quote. We might not want a binder. We just want people that have the, policies. And then we can start and end with certain clients, but better yet, let's go to the filter and we can have a birthday.
Oh.
Now we can, if we're doing Medicare supplements, we might want people that are 60 to whatever, so we can put an age in here, start and end date. Or you can filter on the client birthday,
Gotcha.
This might be start birthday, birth dates.
Gotcha.
Or You can include drivers, which is the personal lines, or you can only search for personal lines clients. So you can take that off, which is looking at contacts, and just do personal lines drivers.
Okay.
With me? Then we've got parameters on user codes and source of business codes, and then you've got even addresses. So you can do certain addresses or zip codes and all that stuff. So you can get pretty down and dirty.
Okay, great.
And then you can go to next, and you can sort it by alpha or client number or zip code. I mean, you can get and then you can do mailing labels.
Wow.
And you could do a list on Kansas City people. Not a birthday list, but I mean just a list for Kansas, state of Kansas or something, you know.
Gotcha.
So this list would not give you premium and all of that stuff, but it would give you a list of those clients.
Okay.
Or a number of reasons for marketing, or just I need to know, or whatever. So we're finding all of these personal lines drivers and their birthdays. So we're finding quite a few.
Yep. So it's going through every single policy that's in the system.
Well, it's just doing policies within those parameters. So, you know, like you're pretty savvy on this kind of stuff. So you'll figure out what you want to see and the parameters that you're going to, you know, be able to draw out the information that you want.
Okay.
So as you see, it goes through. But let's let it just go through so you can at least see the end result on just a birthday list.
Okay.
And I know you'll figure out all kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah. Like so it's found 370 birthdays, or?
Yeah.
Where it says items matched?
Yeah.
Oh.
But I did all year.
Oh.
I should have.
You did just the 1 month. I was like, there's 400 birthdays in January? Oh, my gosh.
No, I think I did all year or something. So it's, you know, it's looking through. Well, it's examining all of your clients and policies and coming up with this list.
Gotcha.
So there are 10 pages.
Oh, my.
And you can see the CEHs.
Yep. Now, are there birthdays on here somewhere or not?
It just says that this is a client with a policy query effective 1/1/13 to 1/31, the policy type excluding alpha codes that are canceled or inactive. And so this is saying that it found some sort of birthday contact within those parameters. And I don't remember what I put in. So you'll just have to play with the birthday list to see what pops up. But it's saying that somewhere, like Christina, well, let's look at somebody. Just pick out somebody.
Oh, this is me. We don't have a birthday in January. Neither one of us do.
Okay, so I did something wrong.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, you know, it's nothing. You know, I don't do this every day, and I did work with a system, but it's been a few years, and so, you know, play around with that report and see what you can get.
Okay.
So you could have pulled out just CEH as a producer. So if you want just his, you could pull out a certain ones.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's interesting, isn't it?
Yes. Oh, yeah. That's cool. Okay.
Okay, so that's pretty much all of the different kinds of reports and stuff that we have. Let's just look at that marketing. I'm just curious. Again, let's look at the query wizard. General
Policy.
1 to 31. Let's back up. Let's exclude cancel policies. We don't want them. See, this is where you could do just CEH.
Okay.
And we did just policy. Approved ones. And we did the additional filter. Okay, let's say that we want birthdays start with age 60 to 120. And we want their date as of. Okay.
Okay. Client number, alpha code. Alpha code would be in alphabetical order, I assume.
Let's do zip.
Okay.
Now, let's back up. If I had done detail, it would give me addresses.
Oh, okay.
Since this is just CEH, and the first time you run the list, it does take a little bit longer, so maybe it'll be real quick. But it's still going through there, and it hasn't found anybody yet. So the more you pare down, the less hits you're going to get. I appreciate your patience.
Oh, Biggie.
See, I don't have a database that I can search through and really, do this kind of stuff.
Yep.
So, my demo has a limited number of clients in there, so, and I don't renew them or anything, so I can't run reports as effectively as somebody that has real data in there.
I know.
So this isn't finding anybody, so I pared it down so low that I can't find anything. So I'm just going to stop looking.
He doesn't have any old clients.
So you'll just have to, play around with that type of report. So is there anything else that I can bother you with? Anything else at all? Know about all the knowledge-based documents and the videos and sign up for the newsletter. And
I've done that. I've got a folder for all the videos that are in there.
We've looked at your companies for policy view. I like to remind everybody of that so that you know that if you need to send anybody in that's not on this list, and when it's not on this list, you're not going to be able to click on that policy and it log you into to that company. And by logging in, it's typically companies that you have the ability, like a Progressive, to post a payment, make a change, and do all that kind of stuff. So if you have a company that's not on this list, now would be the time to send that information into our support team to get them added to this list.
I did notice that one of my companies that I download with now is not downloaded. I thought it was on the download list and it wasn't, and I sent somebody a note about that, and I'm not seeing them on here either, which is Columbia.
Okay, this is policy view. It doesn't have anything to do with download. So
right. Well, but I can still do policy views through them and make payments and all that.
If they're on this list.
Okay, and they're not.
Okay, so for them to be on this list, there's 4 pieces of information that you need to get sent on over to support. One is the actual website. The actual website that you log into.
Okay.
Number 2 is you have to have an active policy.
Got it.
Number 3 is your user ID, and number 4 is your password. And once you gather that information, you send it to support@agencysystems with an S.com, and they will get it added to the list, to this list. Okay. Now, you said something about it not being in the download list. The download list is on our website, and there's 550, I think, companies, and it's found on the home page under this single-step download thing, and then the list is right here. So you're saying it's not in this list?
No, I did a Control F. where is my Control F at? But it's Columbia Mutual, and it wasn't on this list.
Okay, so it's CO Columbia Casualty, which is part of CNA. Okay, so have you contacted them?
I sent somebody. I think
Well, they won't call them because we don't have a legal, or support cannot call them. You and I could call them because I'm an independent contractor.
Oh, I just sent an inquiry, I think, over to Ken.
No, he's not going to contact the company for you.
Okay, so we have to contact the company.
We have to contact their automation and say, do you download, number one?
They do, because I'm getting downloads from them now.
Okay, number two is, can you send us a test file? And if they can send us a test file, then Ken can, ascertain if we can get a certification. If they say, well, we're not certified with agency systems or Newton or whatever, just say, well, just send us the same file that you would send Applied. It's the same format. So if you're certified with Applied or AMS, just send that type of file over, and you don't have to get certified with agency systems. But you and I have to facilitate that with the company. Okay.
Well, let me dig deeper. They don't send that via Ivans. It actually is an AL3 file that gets emailed to me, and I basically have to copy it into my download folder right now.
You'll still do that then.
So then that's what I'll end up doing?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I'll work on that next week. I've got an appointment with Ken, 9 a.m. for download on this Tuesday. So
remind yourself to mention that to Ken to see if he has a better workflow.
Okay.
Or if he can facilitate them sending that, if like Progressive doesn't use IVANS, they use something called Team Up. There's several that use Team Up.
Yep.
If they can use Team Up, then it would process just like Progressive.
Gotcha. I don't know what.
It would be worth a call.
Okay. I've got that written down for my meeting with him then.
Okay, so any other companies that are on the list or not on the list?
The rest of them were. Everybody was okay.
Yippee!
I know. And so what I'm going to do Monday,
okay,
I've got your checklist.
Monday is your post-live checklist.
Yep, and I've got that saved on my desktop.
Okay.
And I don't have to worry about the NAIC codes, or I do? Because, I mean, you've got companies that have 25 NAIC codes.
See the profiles here? The profiles?
Yeah.
Okay, if they're in here, they will be here in the future. If they're not, then they're not going to flow over to applications.
Okay.
Forms such as,
But you want the main NAIC code, the one on AM Best, not the 50 gazillion ones that
right.
to me for download.
According to how you want your forms to read, if you want it to say traveler's indemnity of the blah, 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 or traveler's commercial and property, you would set up each and every of the writing companies. If you don't care, it's just going to say travelers.
I don't care. People don't know these sub-companies, and they sometimes freak out. And what's this? I'm not.
So instead of saying travelers, blah, 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 you would have travelers.
I mean, Travelers has a company called Hartford, which is kind of funny.
Automobile Insurance Company of the Hartford.
Yeah, it's really funny. So the NAIC code's not going to matter because we were doing some of those trial downloads, and you said
this company would not have. You would never have an NAIC company for a Travelers.
Okay.
Because you're not setting up each individual company, and this is the forms NAIC, so you're never going to have any NAIC codes unless you set up the writing company.
So will that affect, though, the certificates?
This is separate from the download. The downloads have to have all of the NAIC codes, even if you use one singular company.
Okay.
So
And, I'll have to set those up too?
This is where the forms flow.
Okay.
There's a separate place for download setup. And you have to put in all of those, even if you use TRV for all of the travelers' NAIC codes.
Okay. And that's on the post-live checklist, or that will?
Okay, so it's not on my checklist because Ken does the training, but this is where you would put it in. You go to Options and AL3, Post-Live, and here are all the NAIC codes. And you would just, this one says 19045. Okay? And so if we click on Next, here is 25666. But these are things that you and I set up during training.
We have.
See, it all has travelers.
Okay.
So you would have to put in all the travelers' codes, but if you just don't want those extra codes in there, like you said, automobile company and Phoenix and yada, yada, yada. It'll just say travelers.
Okay. Gotcha.
All righty.
That makes life easier for me.
Good.
I know.
I like for things to be made easier for you, Kelly.
I do too.
Okay. What else can I bother you with?
I'm looking. Anything else on my desk that's going to be like, hey, what do I do here? Nothing.
Wow.
I know. Okay, yeah.
And I'm going to call you, and we're going to work together next week. It's not, throw you in the deep end. Here's a new system. Have a great life.
Yay.
It's not like that at all. And then if your coworkers need a little help, and Kelly's over here doing all her post-live stuff, and they have questions for you, just put them over here to me.
Okay. Okay.
That's what I'm here for.
My right-hand man next week, and therefore, so, okay.
Okay. Sound good?
I'm good.
All righty.
Okay. Well, I will talk to you next week. Are you just going to call at random, or do I just, if I have run into a problem, I need to call you?
Well, I'll call first thing, and then, just email me or call me, and certainly Mondays are very, very slow for me. People don't want to, can you believe it, people don't want to train on Monday.
Well, it's usually kind of busy with the phone calls that have left. So, Monday is going to be dead for me because it's a holiday.
Yeah, I'm working. You and I can just knock this out then.
We can. That's why I was thinking about getting companies entered in, all the stuff I needed to get entered in. I'm going to try.
Okay, so talk to Jim about those company codes.
Okay.
Bear down on him.
I will. Okay.
All right.
Thanks, Melaine. I'll talk to you next week.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.